This is the 20 Minutes of Influence podcast with your host, Greg Jameson. Influencer marketing is the process of identifying, researching, engaging, and supporting the people who create high-impact conversations with your customers. On each episode, I talk with industry leaders, business rock stars, and internet celebrities who contribute their knowledge about influencing others and growing your influence. Welcome to the 20 Minutes of Influence podcast. I'm your host, Greg Jameson. And today I've got a guest. If you're watching this on video, you can see him here. His name is John Lawson. John and I actually met, I have no idea how long ago it was, a decade ago or something.
Back when eBay was cool.
Yeah. eBay was cool then.
It was, I know.
So we actually shared a stage at a conference in Las Vegas, I think it was. Ecommerce merchants or something like that.
Right, ECMTA, yes. That's a long time ago, bro.
It has been a while.
It's been a minute.
Wow. It basically, John and I have been communicating for the last decade here on social media, but I don't know that we've been in the same room together since then.
No, we haven't. And remember, we almost made connections when I was in your city, and I just got slammed, and I was at a conference, and I never got away.
And then, actually, I did a thing in Dallas, I think, about the same time that you did, too. We were both presenting, I think we were just a month apart or something, presenting at the same meetup group or something.
Oh, okay. Yep. Probably another one of those eBay groups.
It was for Stephanie Ng's group, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dallas eBabes.
So at any rate, for all of our listeners out there, I want to welcome John, and I'm going to give him a couple minutes here to tell a little bit more about himself.
Well, I really don't have a whole lot to say. It's like when I give people my bio, I'm like, please don't read it. You know, in my head, I was like, I hate that. I so hate it. But I will say I've been doing e-commerce basically since 2001. I really had a bad experience financially in 2001, was about to go bankrupt, and I needed a way out. And for me, eBay became that way out. I started selling used books online, and then I kind of graduated to retail arbitrage, which is a word now, but back then it wasn't a word. But I would go to retail stores, find stuff to sell, and then resell it on eBay. One of my big things was, remember when they had the Tickle Me Elmos? That one Christmas was crazy, and I had friends that were in retail stores, and it absolutely sold out the first time it hit the shelves, like around October. And so I told everybody, look, the next time one of those come out, give me a call. And long story short, I ended up with like a van full of Tickle Me Elmos, and I made enough on the Tickle Me Elmos to actually pay a deposit on my house. So, and that was just in a week's time, and I was hooked after that. I mean, I was totally hooked. And so I've been in e-commerce for that long. And then around, like you said, around 2009-ish, people started asking me to speak. And now for the last 10 years, I've been speaking, teaching, and training all around the world, helping e-commerce merchants and other business owners really with their social game and, speaking game. So that's what I do.
Yeah, so obviously, John's got a lot of experience here that I think he can share with people that are maybe struggling a little bit with their e-commerce and wondering, hey, how the heck can I, really start to make some money at this? Because I know there's a lot of people, just like any business, I guess, there's a lot of people out there that get into doing e-commerce, and I don't know if they're not putting 100% into it, or if they don't have the right products or what, but they're just sitting there going, how can I actually make some money at this thing? This thing's costing me money rather than making me money.
That sucks.
Yes, it does. But
That sucks.
especially, I think if people have a brick and mortar store, it seems like they focus all their effort on their brick and mortar store, and their e-commerce is like, well, I know people kind of expect to be able to do this, so I'm going to put it out there. But then they don't really, like I said, put enough effort into it to make the thing happen the way that you and I know that it can happen and should be
Right.
happening.
Right. And you know, that's really odd too. And I saw a stat the other day, was like 53% of all brick and mortar store owners do not even have a website. So if you guys got a website, you're already in front of a lot of other people that are still waiting to get on the platform, which is amazing to me in this day and age. However, I do get it. I mean, e-commerce, because we talk about Amazon so much, or we look and we see things like the shopping malls having openings, and they're like dead people spots. I mean, it's like scary to go to the mall sometimes, depending on where you're at. So I get it. But you guys, I mean, one of the things I think that brick and mortar stores have got to figure out how to meld the two together. Because one of the biggest winners right now is not necessarily for brick and mortar. It's not necessarily, pure play e-com. It's really BOPIS, right? Which is buy online, pick up in store. See, BOPIS, right? Buy online, pick up in store. So if you can figure out really how to give your customer an extended store experience, it would be a real good winner for them. So don't look at these as like, I got an online store and then I've got, this brick and mortar, and I spend all my time in one or the other. Start to figure out where can they overlap for your customer experience. It's all about getting people's attention and a personalized experience today. That's really what the new consumer, I don't want to call them really all that new, but I mean, just consumers in general always want a customized experience. And if you can help them to remove some of the friction with doing transactions, buying the item, picking it up when they want, making it easy for a return, all of those kind of things are areas where brick and mortar retailers really can take advantage of the online experience.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even if we look at like Amazon have in the last few years have tried to open up brick and mortar locations, and clearly places like Walmart and Best Buy and so forth, they've done a really good job of integrating the two. And there's no reason why a small business can't do the same thing. Frequently a small business, they don't have stores all over the US, so that's not the same as Walmart where, hey, I go online, I order at Walmart and go pick it up at my local Walmart. But instead, you've got just the one store. But I've seen kind of local stores that service a region, and they do that really well online. People order things, and then they either come into the shop to pick it up, or the shop provides a free delivery within 50 miles of where they are, or whatever it is. And it really does work well to blend the two.
Absolutely, man. And the other thing is too, if you kind of consider yourself a local website, right? Then you can really start digging down into what the community is interested in. You can really, I'm just thinking about certain areas where you can use your website to help support the local community in the things that are going on locally. So, I mean, even if you just grab some items from the daily paper or whatever to find what's going on in your area and put up a little calendar that would bring people to your store site simply to see what's going on locally, and then tie sales around that. If your community is all about, every Sunday is soccer or Saturday is soccer day, and you got soccer moms and soccer dads, maybe you got some good items that would go along with that on a Saturday, then run some specials for them and tie it to whatever's going on in the local community. I mean, those are great ways to do that. And then all of the targeting that you can do today, right? I mean, Facebook targeting and local market targeting is so easy to get onto. So those are some areas where it's easy wins again, and you're not trying to broadcast to the world. Sometimes we get on the World Wide Web, right, and think it's for the world, but it doesn't have to be. It can be just for that local community, 25 miles radius within your store.
Yeah, and that's actually huge what you were saying. I know I've got some customers where they are in tourist towns, and there's always something going on in a tourist town. So what they do is, rather than trying to advertise their business, they're like, hey, this next week we've got, a walkathon going on or whatever it is. Come on up, join in the celebrations, and while you're there, stop into our shop.
Yes, get them. Okay. Yeah, you were talking about the tying it around those local events, especially if you're in, one of those cities and towns. Make sure that you've got sales circulars already. You've got those local newspapers that probably all of the tourists pick up at the tour shops. You definitely want to be in there. Make sure you put your URL in there. People are no longer tied to the, desktop. So it's on their cell phone now. I mean, and when they see the URL and they're interested, they're going to go straight from their cell phone to your store, hopefully, and purchase.
And, so often I see, especially at a tourist town, where people they go there, and a lot of times things are impulse buys, but sometimes they sit there and go, oh, I don't know if I should get that or not. And then they go back home and they're like, I wished I'd bought that thing. Hey, if you did your job right, they'll get on your website and buy it after the fact.
Absolutely. And, that's another good thing. If you start following them around, not really, but it feels like it, when you pixel people, I know that's a term people don't know, but basically it's the way that you are able to track when somebody comes to your website, and then after you leave that website, you go to like Facebook or Google and you see ads for that website. So the deal is, even after they leave, if you're properly tracking these guys, you still have an opportunity to send them a coupon and have them come back and complete that transaction or that browsing that they were doing earlier.
Yep. So we're going to take a short break here. And actually, after the break, I've got a whole bunch of questions for John as it relates to some of the things we've been talking about, some of the things we kind of mentioned here earlier about sales arbitrage and just best practices for e-commerce in general. So we'll be right back after this.
Are you a business owner that runs an online shop? I have a free course available for you. It goes over the features that every great product page should have. This course can double or even triple your sales, whether you are selling on a marketplace like Amazon or selling on your own e-commerce website. The examples use WordPress and WooCommerce, but are applicable to any online store. In this course, we're going to discuss buyer personas, buyer persona specific headlines, high quality photos, videos, buyer specific descriptions, specifications, short descriptions, call to actions, and social proof. You can register for this class and get free access at webstoreslimited.com/free class. This free class includes a 15-minute video lesson, a 20-page ebook, and a handy checklist. That link again is webstoresltd.com/free class.
Welcome back to the 20 Minutes of Influence podcast. My guest today here is John Lawson. And right before the break, I had mentioned to John that I wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit and talk some about sales arbitrage. I know that that's something that was a big thing back in the day of eBay and so forth. But I actually see it going on still today where people like buy things on Amazon and sell it on eBay.
Yeah, yeah. There's arbitrage everywhere. Matter of fact, a lot of people are doing arbitrage on Amazon too. You believe it or not. I mean, they'll go into Walmart, scan stuff on the shelves, and with the Amazon app, you can actually scan a UPC code and see how much it's selling on Amazon. And if there is a price differential between the two where you can make some money, they buy in store and then sell it on Amazon or eBay. It's happening all the time. I mean, if you've got the eye for it, you ready to run, I know people that are doing tens of thousands every month doing just that.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I actually saw a video that Gary Vaynerchuk put out telling people that, hey, there's no reason for you to be broke. Just go down to the Dollar Tree, buy a whole bunch of stuff for $1, and then turn around and sell it on Amazon or sell it on eBay or whatever. And
yeah, I mean, that's right. It makes it sound easy, and it is kind of, easy. I mean, you want to add some value, all right? Add a little bit of value to it. I mean, if you're going to go to the dollar store, I had a friend tell me about bundling, right? So you, instead of just buying, a turkey baster for people that base turkey, get the turkey baster, get the pan, get some oven mitts, and put that together and call it a turkey baking pack, and then you sell it. You're adding value now. I don't have to go out and pick up 3 different things. I just can order your one thing as a value pack, and that's a whole nother way of turning a $1 item into a $10 item. You literally buy 2, 3 of those things, bundle them up, and now you've saved people with convenience.
And especially if you add some content in there too, maybe you put in your own recipes for
cookbook, yes,
to cook the turkey.
Exactly. And people will buy it. You'd be amazed what people will buy these days. You will. They buy everything online. A little bit of everything you can find somewhere online.
I think the question now, though, is that, okay, so obviously we can source things out that way and find good things to do, but how do we get people's attention to buy these things? Let's go with your turkey baster pan example. We think this is actually a pretty cool thing, and we know that our recipe is going to make some great tasting turkeys, so we've provided some value here. How do we actually get somebody to buy it?
Well, I mean, if you're on a marketplace like an Amazon or an eBay, I mean, they're supposed to drive the traffic for you. And what you really want to do is you want to optimize your listing so it becomes attractive to those that are already browsing those sites for different items. Now, as it comes to driving your own traffic, I mean, it depends. The best way to drive traffic is it's very easy to drive traffic to your stuff if you have enough money. Okay, the easiest way to drive traffic is to pay for it, right? Now let's say, I mean, I can drive traffic to anything if I got enough money, right? I could be #1 for anything if I have enough money in Google, right? Because the top thing is an ad, and if you pay enough, you'll be at the top. It's that simple. Same with, Facebook. If you pay enough, you get seen enough times, or Instagram. But let's say you don't have a whole lot. Where do you want to start? My suggestion is you start with creating content. So let's stick with, you're a good turkey baker, right? And a great recipe for a turkey. Well, when you understand the seasonality of the turkey, right? I mean, literally, I'm sure 90% of turkeys are sold during the month of November, right? And then we have another fraction that will sell in December. So my whole year is not even going to start until the 4th quarter, right? Before I start even talking about the holiday season. And I would just, make some videos about the holiday preparation, what's best about, serving turkeys, the whole nine, and just get people interested in what you're doing and you as the brand, right? Because ultimately you're going to say, and then buy Sally Jane's turkey recipe kit. Man, boom. Now you got your recipe kit. And all of your videos just, it's not about selling. It's like you said, like Gary Vaynerchuk says, man, what is it called? Jab, jab, right hook, or whatever it is. Can't remember. But
Yeah.
that's the whole purpose is that you are not selling, you're not selling, then all of a sudden you say, hey, by the way, I've got this product for you. Why don't you grab it? And then people will get interested. Not only that, look for groups on Facebook that are talking about whatever it is you're selling, right? If you're selling fashion items, there's fashion chats out there. If you love shoes, there's shoe chats. And the main thing you're going to do over there is you're going to listen more than talk. You want to listen to what they're talking about. You want to listen to what their questions are. What are their issues? And then you take your time and just answer their questions, right? So about turkeys. How do I defrost a turkey rapidly, right? Somebody might ask that in a group. If you know how to do that, you just answer that. And then when they start seeing you answer, they're going to figure out, hey, you are an actual expert in turkeys. And then you'll be like, absolutely, I am. Matter of fact, I got a cookbook recipe and a kit for you to make your turkey. So take that and extrapolate it to whatever you do. What you want to really do is find where the people are that are interested in products like yours, find out what they are talking about, and use that as an opportunity to set yourself up as the expert. Once you're the expert, people will buy your stuff.
And this is absolutely huge what John is saying here is that, and it kind of goes back to what we were saying at the beginning, if you've got a business already and you're thinking of the web as just kind of a sideline, it's not a sideline. The web is your business, and you have to basically dedicate the time to creating all of this content that John is talking about. You need to be on groups and answer people. You need to create videos. You need to write blog posts, whatever it takes to become that recognized expert, so that when you are out there and saying, okay, I've got some money and I want to throw it into some Google ads or some Facebook ads, that when people come to your website, it's because they already know that you are an expert and they're willing to buy it. If you just go out there and say, I'm going to take a couple $1,000 and throw it into Facebook ads and send people to a website that no one's ever heard of, then people wonder how come they're not buying stuff. It's because you don't have that credibility established with people.
That's right. And you've got it. And look, here's the one thing people's like, well, I'm busy. I don't have time. I get that. We're all busy. We all have the same 24 hours a day. I get that. However, if you just get up in the morning, right after coffee, and spend 30 minutes, all right, of your day on 2 of your channels, and just go through and like other people's posts, comment on their stuff, they're going to start seeing your stuff. The problem a lot of us have is we don't interact. If you interact, then people will interact back with you. So if you show an interest in them, they'll show an interest in you. Ultimately, they'll ask you, what do you do? Right? It's just the same way as going to a meet and greet, for business. If you go to a mixer for business, we'll stand around, we'll drink a little bit, and we'll say, hey, what do you do? At some point in that conversation. And that's the same way it works online. You want to get people interested enough in you so that they ask, hey, what do you do? By the way, I got a store over there on Fifth Avenue. Have you been over to our store? Man, here's a card. Come on over. Here, save you 5% off. It's the same concept online, man. Give it a try. Work it in. Find people in your local area and talk to them. They will buy from you. We buy from people we know, we like, and we trust. This is not rocket science. And that's, I think, one of the problems is that people get so scared of the technology, or they feel like it's so brand new that they have to do brand new things. I'm telling you, since the age of man, sales has been the exact same. Sales has not changed. The methods have changed, right, in terms of the tools we use, but the actual underlying thing that makes people spend money and time with each other has not changed. It's totally in our human DNA. So if you tap into that and use these tools like the internet to really what it is a multiplier. I could only have one conversation with one person at a time usually, right? Or I could stand on stage with a microphone, which was technology, and talk to a whole room. Now I can actually create a video and spread it through the entire world. So it's the same thing, man. Just use the technology to amplify your messaging.
Yeah, and one of the things that you had talked about a little while ago, and I, in what you were just saying, kind of resonated with me again there, is that people often think that, hey, I've got an online store and therefore people are going to come and buy from me. And what you really need to do is you need to spread your message out there everywhere that you possibly can. When we were talking about arbitrage and, you know, putting stuff out on eBay or Amazon or whatever, the fact is that if you really want to make money in this game, and that's what it is, it's a game of business, is you need to be seen in as many places as possible. So don't think of your online business as just your website. It's not just your website. It's your entire online presence. And there's a lot of people out there that are still making money on eBay. There's people out there making money on Amazon. There's people making money on their own website. And there's no reason why you can't be on all those places and a whole bunch of other places.
Yeah, I mean, the website is the beginning. And from that, you can push to a lot of other sites so that you can have your products displayed on many other sites. There's some really interesting things going on also with Facebook Marketplace, which is absolutely free. You can set that up. You can make specials on it. That's a great place to dump inventory that's dead and turn it back into cash so you can buy inventory that actually sells. I mean, don't overlook these little marketplaces. These are places where people are transacting millions of dollars every day, and most of us don't even know what's going on in the background. If you just take a little bit of time and start exploring some of these opportunities, you'll be amazed at what can happen to your top and the bottom line.
Exactly. And Craigslist is another one that I see making a pile of money on it.
Forever.
Yeah.
That ugly old Craigslist site, you know? And that just goes to show you it doesn't have to be beautiful. It just has to be functional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up here, is there any kind of number one advice tips that you would give to people?
You know, there's a couple that I'm just thinking about just based on what you told me about your audience and that they're, you know, one of the things is you want to get some education, right? Look around like it just in your local area. Look for meetups, right? Maybe there's some meetups that are around small business and the e-commerce thing. Try to find one of those. Try to attend one so that you can see what's going on and some of the things other businesses in your area are doing. Don't ignore social media. Social media is probably one of the best free marketing tools that you can have out there. Yes, the free ones are very fantastic. And then once you build on that free, then you will be able to get an audience that you can use unpaid. And then lastly is that if nothing else on your website, make sure you're taking the opportunity to get those emails and do follow-ups with email marketing. I think it's probably one of the fastest ways to move product is with email marketing. So you've got the website. Some people have paid. Some people have come. If nothing else, put something out there that makes them have to sign up to get it. Maybe a free coupon or a good offering or or that book on how to cook the turkey. Do that so that you get a mailing list. A mailing list is very, very powerful, and most of you guys already have mailing lists, are not doing anything with it. That is some gold that's sitting right there under the table. You need to pick that up.
We could do a whole nother podcast on lead magnets and mailing lists.
That's true. I know. I opened up. I thought about it. I was like, should I open that can?
That's absolutely huge. I've actually been working on an online course, speaking of education, specifically on all the different kinds of lead magnets that you can use. And, the ultimate goal here is that you're trying to get this email list, because that's, as John said, that's where your gold is.
It is. Awesome. Nope, that's pretty much, I think those three will keep you busy.
Yeah. So tell our listeners, John, how they can stay in touch with you. Tell them about your book, everything else here. Let's get more info about you.
All right. So glad you asked. I have a book. I've just given you free information. And then I'm like, oh, by the way, here's the book. And you're like, wow, you're sitting there going like, he's very informative. Right? I've demonstrated my authority, and now I'm showing you the product. See how it works? It's really basically the same thing. So anyway, okay, the product. So this is Kick-Ass Social Commerce for E-preneurs. I wrote it just for you guys, and it really talks about it. It breaks down how to use social media to sell. I don't care if you like me. Don't push the thumbs up. I need you to push the cash register. So it's not about getting more people to like you. That's so soft. It's about making money and making sales. The other thing is, if you just, want to hang out with me, I'm at johnlawson.com, my name, or you can just look on Google for Colder Ice, one word, COLDERICE. You put that in any Google and I will pop up. Amazing.
And he will. And I'll make sure that those links are in the show notes too, as well as a link to your book there for people.
Awesome.
To grab that. I really want to thank you for being on here today, John. It's been great. And
I appreciate it, man. That was so awesome. I'm so glad to talk to you.
Yeah, we haven't talked in forever. So like I said, maybe we'll have to do a whole nother podcast on lead magnets and email lists.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Just reach out. I'm always here.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right, chat.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of 20 Minutes of Influence. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please leave a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you are interested in booking myself as a speaker at one of your events, or are interested in any of my coaching programs, please visit gregjameson.com.